Welcome back to Tales from the Void. If you love dark stories, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more.
There are places in the galaxy that were never meant to be spoken of, worlds that do not appear on maps, planets stripped of names, erased from memory, abandoned by hope. Yet they still turn, silent, cursed, forgotten. These are the Hellworlds, prisons of eternity, the graveyards of the Imperium's unwanted, criminals, rebels, heretics, and the unlucky souls who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Most believe they are myths, but those who have heard the whispers know better. And the condemned, they know the truth because they live it. The Imperium was never merciful, never just. From its very beginning, it ruled through fear. And when fear was not enough, when rebellions rose and faith wavered, the Imperium built worlds of terror, planets turned into cages, designed to remind humanity of its chains. Not fortresses, not cells, but entire planets sacrificed a punishment. Many of these worlds were once alive, fertile, green, home to laughter and families. But when the decree came, the skies blackened, the rivers soured. Their people were given a choice: exile, execution, or chains. Civilizations ended not in war, but in silence. Cities crumbled, not from bombs, but from abandonment. And in their place, the Hellworlds rose. The Imperium does not name them. To speak of them is forbidden, for to admit they exist is to admit the full weight of its cruelty. You can speak of Terra, the cradle of mankind. You can fear Prospero. You can mourn Cadia. But the prison planets? They are erased. Instead, there are whispers. Whispers of nameless stars where transports vanish. Whispers of ships that return empty, navigators who refuse to guide their vessels near. And always, the rumors are the same. Those who go there never return. But who are these prisoners? Some are murderers, thieves, traitors, the guilty, condemned for crimes beyond forgiveness. Others are heretics, those who pray to forbidden gods, who spoke truths the Imperium could not allow. Many are rebels, men and women who dare to question, dare to rise, dare to believe in something other than fear. But the most tragic of all are the unlucky. The wrong word, spoken at the wrong time, the wrong bloodline, the wrong whisper in the wrong ear. In the Imperium, guilt is not proven. It is decreed, and once decreed, there is no escape. The transports come in the night. Chains are fastened. Stars blur into the void. And when they clear again, you are no longer a person. You are a number. Imagine the first sight of a hell world. Through the viewport of the transport ship, you see a planet wrapped in storm clouds. Lightning lashes across its broken surface. The land below is scarred with black pits, poisoned rivers, endless deserts of ash. There is no welcome, no dawn, only chains guard and the stench of fear. When the hatch opens, the prisoners are driven out with lashes and shock prods. The air is heavy, toxic, difficult to breathe. The ground itself trembles with the rumble of machines that never rest. And above it all, loudspeakers echo the same message over and over. You are here because you are nothing. You are here because you are guilty. You are here because your life belongs to the Imperium. Then the gates close. The transports vanish into the void, and you are forgotten. But whispers travel even here. They speak of those who tried to escape, digging tunnels beneath the mines, lashing together rafts, vanishing into the wastelands. None return. The guards do not even bother chasing them. They know the land itself will devour them. The storms strip flesh from bone. The radiation burns from within. The hunger drives men to madness. Sometimes, the prisoners hear screams carried on the wind, screams that echo for hours, fading only when the desert claims another soul. And when silence falls, everyone knows. Another one is gone. It is said that the first night on a Hellworld is always the longest. The barracks reek of sweat and despair. The walls are scratched with desperate markings, names, prayers, curses, carved by those who came before. The lights flicker. The footsteps echo in the dark. And every man knows that before dawn, someone will die. Sometimes it is punishment. Sometimes it is theft. Sometimes it is madness. But the first night always takes someone. And when morning comes, the body is gone. No one asks where. No one dares. These are not prisons in the way we understand them. They are not places to hold the guilty. They are machines built to erase them. The Imperium does not seek redemption. It does not seek justice. It seeks silence. And in the silence of these forgotten worlds, the only voices that remain are the whispers of the condemned. Whispers carried on poison winds. Whispers buried in ash and steel. Whispers waiting for someone, anyone to listen. And now you have. Every Hellworld is different, but all share the same purpose. To break the body. To consume the spirit. To erase the soul. These are not places built for life. They are sculpted for torment. Landscapes reshaped into instruments of punishment, where even the earth itself becomes the executioner. Some are mines. Planets where the ground is split open, gutted, hollowed into endless tunnels that stretch for miles beneath the surface. The air is poisoned with dust, each breath a dagger in the lungs. The walls drip with toxic chemicals that burn flesh and bone alike. Men and women are driven into the depths with chains around their necks, picks in their hands, and nothing to shield them from the blackness. They say that once you enter those tunnels, you never see the sky again, not because you cannot climb back out, but because you are swallowed whole by the dark. The echoes of your labor become the echoes of your grave. Others are factories, vast, sprawling fortress machines that thunder without pause. Inside, the condemned toil on endless assembly lines where the air is thick with smoke and blood. The heat of furnaces scorches the skin. The roar of machinery drowns out even screams. Here, prisoners are not men, not women, not even numbers. They are fuel. Flesh and steel blur together. Hands are crushed between gears. Limbs are torn away by conveyor belts. And when a body collapses from exhaustion, it is cast into the fire to keep the machine fed. In these places, the only law is rhythm. The machine does not sleep. The machine does not forgive. And in time, neither do the prisoners. They learn to move with the rhythm of the machine or be consumed by it. And then there are the wastelands. Entire worlds scoured clean of life, bathed in ash, radiation, and storms that strip bone from flesh. Here, prisoners are cast without walls, without shelter. There is no barracks, no order, only survival. The strong prey upon the weak. The desperate claw through ash for scraps of food or drops of water. The storms roll across the horizon like living beasts, and when they come, they carry with them screams that sound less than human. It is said the wastelands are the cruelest prisons of all, for here the Imperium does not need chains. The world itself is the warden. Every rock, every storm, every breath of air is another step closer to death. But perhaps the most terrifying of all are the hybrid worlds. Planets where mines, factories, and wastelands are bound together in a single endless nightmare. Prisoners dig in the pits until their bodies break. Then they are marched to the factories to be ground down into gears. When they can no longer work, they are thrown into the wastes, where the storm claims what remains. On these worlds, there is no cycle of life, only a cycle of suffering. And it ends only when the planet itself has devoured every part of you. Yet even here, whispers linger. They tell of men who vanish into the tunnels and are never seen again, of machines that seem to move even when no prisoner tends them, of shadows in the wastelands that follow in silence, waiting for the storms to fall before they strike. The condemned say these worlds are alive, that they hunger, that the Imperium did not build them but awaken them. And perhaps, in some forgotten corner of the galaxy, a truth more terrifying than punishment waits beneath the ash. But whatever the whispers may claim, the truth remains. Each Hellworld is designed to strip away the illusion of humanity, to take men and women and return nothing but dust. For the Imperium does not need prisoners. It needs warnings. And these landscapes of misery are more than prisons. They are messages carved into the stars themselves. Messages that say, defy us and this will be your world. Daylight means nothing here. On the Hellworlds, there is no rising sun, no gentle dawn, no warmth to greet the condemned. Only the clang of sirens, the crack of shock batons, the endless command, work, obey, suffer. And so begins the life of a prisoner. At first there is denial. You tell yourself you will survive, that you will endure, that one day you will leave. But the days stretch into weeks. The weeks blur into months. And soon, time loses meaning. For on a Hellworld, there is no tomorrow. Only the next shift, the next lash, the next scream. Food is not nourishment. It is punishment. Bowls of gray paste ladled without care. Crawling with insects, sour with rot. Water is brackish, poison, tasting of rust and blood. Prisoners fight over scraps like animals, tearing flesh from flesh for the chance at one more mouthful. And those who starve too slowly, who grow too weak, are dragged away by guards and never seen again. Some whisper they are fed to the machines. Others whisper they are buried alive. The truth is worse. No one cares. Identity is the first thing to die. Names are forbidden. Every prisoner is given a number, branded into flesh, seared across bone. The guards call you only by that number. The machines only recognize that number. And soon, even you forget the sound of your own name. The man you were is gone. Only the number remains. But names are not the only thing stripped away. Sleep is a weapon here. The lights never stay steady. Alarms shriek at random hours. Boots thunder down corridors. Doors slam without warning. You never know if you're meant to be awake or asleep, working or resting, living or dying. Sleep comes only in fragments, in shivers, in broken whispers before the baton cracks across your skull once more. And in that half-sleep, dreams take on a life of their own. You dream of freedom, only to wake in chains. You dream of escape, only to find your feet already moving in the rhythm of the machine. You dream of death. And sometimes when you wake, you wonder the dream is still continuing. The first lesson of a Hellworld is despair. The second is silence. Prisoners learn not to speak, not because the guard forbid it, though they do, but because speaking draws attention. A word spoken too loudly, a whisper heard at the wrong moment, and you vanish into the night. The condemned learn to speak only in glances, in gestures, in shivers. And slowly, the silence becomes its own language. But sometimes, even silence betrays you, because in the dark, when the sirens fade and the guards sleep, whispers rise from the barracks, not from mouths, not from men, from the walls, from the air itself. The old prisoners say it is the world listening, that the Hellworlds are not dead stone, but living things, that they hear every scream, every prayer, every sob, and that they whisper back. The whispers are soft at first, a voice you almost mistake for your own thoughts. But the longer you stay, the clearer they become. They call your number. They promise release. They tell you that the pain will end if only you obey. And when a prisoner listens too closely, when they start to answer the whispers in the dark, they are taken, dragged into the tunnels, swallowed by the machines. Or worse, they keep working, but their eyes are empty, souls hollowed out, bodies moving without will. The whispers inside them now. Death comes in many ways. Some fall in the mines, their bodies buried beneath collapsing stone. Some burn in the furnaces, their screams lost in the roar of fire. Some simply vanish, their bunks empty come morning. But the worst fate of all is survival. For every day survived on a Hellworld is another day of torment, another scar, another lash, another piece of humanity carved away. And survival is its own kind of punishment. This is the life of the condemned. No joy, no hope, no future. Only chains, numbers, whispers, and the slow, grinding certainty that you are already dead and your body simply hasn't realized it yet. For on the Hellworlds, The sentence is never years. It is not life. It is not even death. The sentence is forever. And forever has no end. There's a lie whispered across the Hellworlds. A lie given to the prisoners when their bodies begin to fail, when their strength is almost gone, when their eyes no longer see hope in the dark. The lie is freedom. The guards tell them they can leave the mines. They can leave the factories. They can walk once more beneath the stars. But freedom in the Imperium is never free. It has a price. And for the condemned, that price is blood. Those chosen are taken from the barracks in the dead of night. Shackles are struck off. Collars fastened tight around their throats. The collars are wired to explosives. A single command, a single thought from their overseer, and the prisoner's head will vanish in a spray of bone and ash. They are drugged, injected with serums that burn through their veins. The serums strip away fear, strip away hesitation, strip away reason itself. What remains is not a soldier, not even a man. What remains is a weapon with nothing left to lose. These broken souls are marched to the transports, chained together, herded like cattle. And for the first time in years, some of them see the stars again. But the stars no longer bring hope. They bring only terror. For the condemned are not taken to freedom. They are taken to war. This is the birth of the Penal Legions. Entire armies of prisoners, hurled into battle against the Imperium's enemies. They are given no armor, no training, no chance of survival. Just a weapon, a collar, and an order. Fight, kill, die. The legions are thrown into the worst of wars, into sieges where death reigns from the skies, into trenches where the mud itself swallows men alive, into fields where alien horrors stalk in the dark, tearing flesh from bone. The prisoners are always the first wave. They are forced to charge headlong into gunfire, into claws, into the jaws of death, not because they are strong, but because they are expendable. Their role is simple: die loudly enough that the true soldiers may follow. Some beg for death before the charge. Some weep, clutching their rifles, knowing they will never fire a shot. Others laugh, a hollow, broken laughter, because they know death in battle is better than death in the mines. But none escape the charge. When the signal comes, when the collars begin to pulse with warning light, they run, not toward victory, not toward survival, but toward oblivion. There are stories whispered of penal legions that were completely erased in a single night. An army of 10,000 prisoners hurled into the maw battle, and by dawn, not one remained. Only ash, blood, and silence. The Imperium does not mourn them. It does not mark their graves. It does not even record their names. To the Imperium, they were already dead the moment they were condemned. The battlefield was simply the place where their bodies caught up with their sentence. But there are darker whispers still. Whispers of those who survived. Prisoners who fought through impossible battles, who endured the slaughter, who crawled through fire and blood and lived. They return, but not as men. Their eyes are empty, their faces hollow, their voices silent. The collars remain locked around their throats, their masters still holding the trigger. But the guards whisper that they no longer need the collars, for something else controls them now. Something that came with the whispers of war, something that took root in their hollowed souls, binding them to the battlefield forever. And so the Penal Legions march on, wave after wave, war after war, world after world, their lives measured not in years, not in victories, but in the second it takes for their bodies to fall. For them, there is no home, no freedom, no end, only the collar, the battlefield, and the grave. The lie of freedom is the cruelest torture of all, for the condemned are never truly freed. They are simply given a wider cage, a cage carved across 1,000 battlefields, filled with blood and ash. And in that cage they will remain until the Imperium itself falls silent. The Hellworlds are not accidents. They are not mistakes. They are not forgotten corners of the galaxy left to rot. They are built. They are maintained. They are deliberate. Every lash of the whip, every collapsed mine, every burning factory, every wave of the Penal Legions hurled into slaughter. It all serves a purpose. The purpose is fear. The Imperium does not seek justice. It does not seek redemption. It does not even seek order. It seeks control. And the currency of control is suffering. Hellworlds are not prisons. They are messages, living monuments carved into the stars, reminders of what happens to those who stray, those who question, those who disobey. When whispers of rebellion rise, the Imperium does not need to send words. It needs only to gesture toward the void, toward the unnamed stars we condemned our caste, and the whispers fall silent. Think of it, an entire planet sacrificed, not for progress, not for conquest, but for fear. A single hell world does not just hold prisoners. It holds a warning that spreads across the Imperium like a disease, a warning that seeps into every hive, every factory, every heart. Do not resist, do not falter, do not disobey, or you too will vanish into the void. The condemned are not men and women anymore. They are examples. Sacrifice is placed on an altar of terror. Their suffering is the fuel that keeps the machine alive, not the machines of the factories, not the drills of the mines, but the machine of fear itself, the true machinery of the Imperium, a machine built not of gears and pistons, but of agony and silence. And like all machines, it must be fed with lives, fed with screams, fed with the slow, endless breaking of souls. Every prisoner who collapses in the mines, every legionnaire torn apart on the battlefield, every unlucky soul who disappears into barracks and is never seen again. They are not lost. They are consumed. Their pain becomes another cog in the machine. The cruelest truth is this. The Hellworlds do not need to be remembered. They do not need to be seen. They do not even need names, for their shadow is enough. Their whispers are enough. The fear they cast is enough to bind billions in chains tighter than steel. But fear is a dangerous tool, for just as it can control, it can also fester. It can rot. It can awaken something in the dark corners of the human soul. Among the condemned, some whisper that the Hellworlds are not just prisons. They are wounds. Scars cut so deep into reality that even the stars themselves bleed. And from those wounds, something else is listening. Something older than the Imperium. Something hungrier than the mines. Something darker than the void. The whispers are not just the voices of the condemned. They are echoes of something waiting. Something patient. Something that feeds not only on flesh, but on fear itself. And so the question lingers. The Imperium believes it built the Hellworlds. But perhaps the Hellworlds built the Imperium. Perhaps the machinery of fear does not serve man. Perhaps man serves it. Perhaps the condemned are not the only prisoners. Perhaps we all are. So remember this. The Hellworlds are not forgotten. They are not silent. They are not asleep. They turn still in the dark, grinding lives into dust, feeding a machine that will never stop. And as long as men fear, as long as chains rattle, as long as whispers travel through the void, the Hellworlds will endure. Thanks for watching Tales from the Void. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next dark journey.